Yo, what is up, everybody? Sarasco back again with the final chapter from the story Winter, written by Jacob Harris. Remember to show love to the author by using the links in the description. Like, comment, and share. Chapter 10. There's no hope, said Haru, who was having even more difficulty keeping up with his wife due to his mounting injuries. We can't escape, and there's nothing we can do to stop her. Just leave me here to die. Save yourself. Shut up, no, I won't give up. Look, there's no more time. She's gonna show up any minute. Miyuki hadn't heard her husband, as her attention was focused squarely on something else. It was hard to see from that distance, but Miyuki was sure she saw something up ahead. Without urging Haru to follow, Miyuki continued on her way. Wait for me. Miyuki began tearing at a bush up against the side of a mountain. Miyuki, what are you doing? After a while, Miyuki had cleared away enough of the bush to show that there was an entrance to a cave hiding behind it. Miyuki and Haru entered the cave and took out their cell phones, using them to light the way as they ventured further inside. I don't think she'll find us in here. The deeper the two explored, the colder the cave became. To make matters worse, as the two continued, they found strange symbols drawn in blood on the walls. What are these? Miyuki-chan, we shouldn't be in here. Miyuki paid her husband no attention and continued leading the way. When the two came to a dead end, they found a makeshift home away from home. A pile of hay served as a bed, with a tattered blanket and a pillow that had been worn badly by time laid neatly on top of it. Natsuko. There was a small table and chair off on the side, and on the table was a book. Miyuki wasted no time in retrieving it and reading. As she had been expecting, the handwriting matched what she had seen in the journal she found in Natsuko's home. I found the book in a cave during one of my walks. It looked to be 1,000 years old. The language, it was nothing I had ever seen before, but for some reason, I could read every word that was in it. It's like the book had been left there just for me. I've written my name in blood in the book just as it told me to. Now I am bound to the book, and it is bound to me. The book speaks of a master who has promised his followers power if they give him what he wants. I want this power, and I'll do whatever it takes to get it. I want to teach that village a lesson for mistreating me. They treat me like an outsider. Why? Because I don't want to take part in their stupid activities or engage them in conversation? It's because I want to keep to myself. Why should that make them treat me like I'm different? Hey, Miyuki, what kind of book is that? It's Natsuki's journal. But you already found her journal. I did. She must have kept another one. He continued reading on. I waited for the night of the full moon. When it was at its highest point in the sky, I spoke the incantation of the ancients. It wasn't long before I started seeing the results. Only 3 days later, the crops started to wilt and die. There won't be near enough food for those fools to eat during the coming winter. It serves them right that they'll all starve to death. People are starting to talk. I made a mistake. Some of the farmers saw the look on my face as they fretted over their precious crops. I was just so happy with what I've done that I'd gotten a better look. But now, they know that I take pleasure in their misfortune. I have to be more careful as I continue to do my Lord's bidding. This can't be, said Miyuki. There was genuine sorrow on her face as she read further the horrible acts committed by Natsuko. My master desires blood, and blood is what I have given my master. Under the cover of night, I led some of the animals into the forest. I cut them to pieces with an axe. Their screams made my body quiver with pleasure. The villagers are so stupid. They'll think that a wild animal did this to them. After all, what human could do this? I didn't feel any different. The master has yet to reward me for my devotion. I must give him more than the lives of mere plants and animals. I must take a human life for him. I know he will show his favor to me if I give him that. Stupid old man Yuta, staggering around the village drunk. He bumped into me and then started yelling at me like it was my fault. Everyone just watched. They didn't even try to help. I felt like a fool standing there, letting that drunk yell at me like that. I promise I won't let him get away with what he's done. I snuck into the drunk old fool's house. I could hear him snoring from outside, so I knew he wouldn't object to me being there. I set the old man's rags on fire, then ran back home to watch his house burn to the ground. I was heartbroken when he came stumbling out of his front door, shouting that his house was on fire. The master will not be happy about this. Most of the villagers won't talk to me or even look at me. Not that I want them looking at me or talking to me. I hate them all so much. Some of the children have been calling me witch, and some even throw rocks at me. Those children won't live long enough to regret the way they've treated me. Miyuki slammed the journal shut. I can't read this anymore. It was all lies. Everything she told me. She wasn't a victim at all. She deserved what happened to her. She's a monster now because she was a monster then. Miyuki-chan, said Haru, who had discovered something under Natsuki's pillow. Haru displayed it in the light from his cell phone to reveal it was the book Natsuko had used to learn of the Dark Master and of the spells with which she used to terrorize her village. This book that turned her into what she is. Mitsuki opened the book to the first page and was presented with Natsuko's name written in blood. Haru then said, "This is all too much to handle. You still have my cigarettes? I need to calm myself down." "Haru, this isn't the time for that. Please, it might be the last time I get to smoke one." Then, a crackling sound began filling the cave. When Miyuki and Haru turned their lights to the sound, they found ice that began forming on the walls. "Haru, we need to leave." When the two exited the cave, they found Natsuko waiting for them. I see you found my hiding spot. Did you find anything interesting to read while you there? You lied to me. I suppose I did. The journal I found in your home, why did you write it? Well, in hopes that one of those fools would sneak into my house and find it. Then maybe they would have cast their suspicions on someone else. But no one ever did. They thought that by entering the house of a witch, they would have been cursed. That's why they boarded it up after they murdered me. The only one naive enough to believe the stories in that book was you. So, Kaido? He was just some man from the village that wouldn't give me a second look. It's too bad. I would have let him lay with me. Wait, so you were executed before getting a chance to punish your village for the way they treated you? Is this your way of making up for that failure? Oh, I didn't fail. 500 years ago. It had taken only a few hours for Natsuko to succumb to the elements. She had stopped struggling to free herself from the tree, knowing that death was inevitable. A gentle snow began to fall upon the peaceful scene. But the serene environment would take a dramatic turn for the worst very quickly. The sky grew dark, and a powerful wind turned a gentle snowfall to a hellish blizzard. A lifeless Natsuko opened her eyes. What once were brown, Natsuko's eyes were now a dark shade of blue. Her skin faded to a white blue or light blue, and her hair lost its color, becoming a white, pristine color. The ropes ensnaring Natsuko became covered in ice, weakening them to a point that they snapped and set the prisoner free. Natsuko removed herself from the tree and immediately looked in the direction of her village. A swirling snow gave her elegant white garments. Natsuko's village was in panic from the sudden blizzard. People who had been out and about were running back to their houses. "Get inside!" shouted Matsumoto. "It isn't safe." So much snow had fallen in such a short time that the roof of a nearby home collapsed from the weight. "It isn't safe here!" shouted another man. Before he could utter another word, a razor-sharp chunk of ice pierced through the back of his head and out of his mouth. People began running out of their homes as more roofs began collapsing from the weight of the snow that had quickly built up on them. At the far end of the village, Natsuko was hovering several feet above the ground. She extended her arm towards the villagers, sending more razor-sharp chunks of ice. The ice found their targets with deadly precision. Natsuko floated through the village toward the man who had overseen her execution. "Did you really think death would stop me?" "It's you." After lowering to the ground, cold air began circling around Natsuko's hand, and from that cold air emerged a sword-like made of crystal clear ice. "I'm gonna spare you the speeches and ask you a very simple question. Have you any last words?" "Burn in hell." "Oh, I'm afraid that isn't possible. For you see, hell is a very cold place." Natsuko then wasted no time in taking the man's head. With that piece of business taken care of, Natsuko rose high into the air. An unstoppable rush of snow came flooding into the village and buried everything. "Were you really gonna let us live?" asked Miyuki. "I think you already know the answer to that." Haru pulled out his knife. "This is where we end this. The games are over. Once I'm finished here, I'm gonna spread this bitter cold over the rest of your vile species. And just to make sure you don't get any ideas about escaping, Natsuko, before large razor-sharp chunks of ice thrust from out the ground and formed a semicircle around the three, leaving only a dead-end cave as escape. So much innocent blood gonna stain my snow. But once the snow is wiped clean, nothing will remain of your kind but bitter memories." When Natsuko raised her hands, razor-sharp chunks of ice appeared in midair all around her in a most threatening display. Miyuki caught everyone by surprise by running back into the cave. Leaving her beloved husband behind to fend for himself. It doesn't surprise me, but don't worry, she'll be getting hers soon enough. But first, you get yours. Haru thrust his knife towards Natsuko in a vain attempt to intimidate her. What's with all the theatrics, huh? Afraid to fight me with your bare hands? Why should I get my hands dirty when I can let the cold take you? Just like a woman. What did you say? Miyuki returned to Natsuko's bed and retrieved the spellbook. As quickly as she could, he pulled out Haru's lighter and set the hay on fire. With the fire now raging, he placed both the spellbook and Natsuko's journal in the flames. Outside, Haru was continuing with his antagonizing speech. It's a good thing you're not a man, or you would have been finished off. You would have finished the two of us long ago. I guess we're lucky that you're just a woman." "Enough!" exclaimed Natsuko, who extended her arm towards Haru. The chunks of ice hovering in midair failed to attack their target. Instead, large cracks began appearing in them. Before long, they shattered. The larger chunks of ice that surrounded the area began cracking as well, before breaking into pieces. The powerful blizzard quickly died down to nothing more than a passing breeze. Why is this happening? Then Miyuki emerged from the cave. "You! What did you do?" "You said that after we're gone, that there wouldn't be anything left of us but bitter memories. I made sure that when you're gone, not even your memories are left behind." With the way water was streaming down Natsuko's face, it was evident that she began melting. How could you do this to me?" There was no sympathy to be had as Miyuki and Haru watched their nemesis melt away until nothing remained. Haru immediately fell to his knees. Thank God. I don't know how much longer I could have kept on putting that act. Miyuki could see that her husband's stomach wound was bleeding badly. I didn't know it was that bad. Yeah, I did a good job of hiding it, huh? Miyuki reached into her pocket and produced a bottle of pills Here, take these. Thank you. Now, you have to stay still. It's a long cut, but it's not very deep. I think you'll be okay if you take it easy. I feel all better, thanks to you. I'm glad. So, where do we go from here? Well, we've been given a second chance. This is an opportunity to start our lives over. Where we go from here is wherever we choose to go. It was a struggle, but Haru was able to get back to his feet. No, an opportunity to start our lives over. It happened so quickly that Miyuki had no chance to react. After straightening himself up, Haru plunged a knife deep into his wife's stomach. Not only did it produce an extreme pain, but it felt as if the air had been sucked out of Miyuki's lungs. We never could have gone back to what it once was. Not after what happened today. If I want to start a new life, I have to do it without you. I hope you can understand. I hope you can forgive me. Miyuki fell to the ground, her blood staining the snow on a deep shade of red. I had to get along with you. It was the only way I was going to survive all this. And now, I have no more use for you. What's so funny? I should have seen this coming. I suppose now neither of us is going to get a chance to start our new lives. What do you mean? Haru suddenly lurched over, and pain and blood immediately began pouring out of his mouth. I was gonna start my new life with Mr. Tanaka, but I guess that won't be happening now. The pill. How long? How long have me and Mr. Tanaka been lovers? I'm not sure, but it's been a long time. Much longer than you have been seeing that woman. Oh, don't think I don't know about her. I've known about her from the start. I just didn't care. It wasn't long before Haru succumbed to the poison. Where do we go from here? We can go wherever we choose to go. And her eyes then closed for a final time. A gentle snow began to fall. The blood that had been spilled upon the pristine snow was more than enough to wake Natsuko from a temporary slumber. And that